And when your mates get flogged, mate, you're cacking. I'm sure my mate can hear me laughing on the jet ski because I know he got so rinsed. You're like, oh my. But occasionally he might be held down for 10 seconds. You're like, oh shit, could be in trouble here, but it's still funny,
All right, today my guest is going to run us through an insane East Coast low session that hit New South Wales recently. But before we get into it, if you haven't heard Matt's earlier podcast where we dive a bit deeper into him, jump back to episode 21, give it a listen. It's dead set. It's one of my favourites. He's got some wild stories in there and there's good info on his background as well. But jumping into this session that he's going to run through, and just to set the scene a little bit, East Coast lows in New South Wales, there's something that generally deter people from going out just because the seas are too big. But then you got blokes like Matt who, they're out there doing stuff like this. And that's you there, Matt, yeah?
That's it.
So that sums up Matt Davies. So, Matt, welcome back, and thanks for coming on to chat us through this day.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Dan. Good to be back.
Good to have you here. So, run us through that day. So what were the conditions like versus what they were expected to be and everything, and how you made that call to take it on?
Yeah. I mean, like any Sydney swell, there's always that lead up to the swell. And look, I'm bad for doing that too. I'll be chasing swells for like 2 weeks and looking at the charts, and it always lands with a flat tire. It's such a build up. And so to this time, we sort of approached it a different way. We're like, it'll be what it'll be. And then the morning of, we got down there at first light. It was there's so much energy down at the boat ramp, where we launch our jet ski. And we thought, we'll go up the top of, I'm in the Northern Beaches, Narrabeen, so we'll go up the headland, have a look up at the top of Longy there. And, mate, there's waves breaking that I've never seen break there before. It was that big. I'm like, oh, my God, let's go. Like, it was breaking easy. 70 to 100 meters off the back of the point, but barreling top to bottom. It was unreal, and glassy conditions, which is just unheard of. Any swell that we get, it's always accompanied with 20 knot southerlies, so that sort of anything to that sort of size. But it was unreal.
Dream day. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it really was.
And so you're outside. Obviously, we've got this clip by Mitch White here, which we'll run through that particular wave after.
Yeah.
But you're out there for 5 hours, I believe, if I read that right. So any other standouts? Run us through it.
We're out there, like you said, we were out there for 5 hours. It was got out there probably a bit after the first light, I guess. We went and checked it first, and it was sort of a little bit sloppy when we first got out there. It was sort of breaking a bit everywhere, and the tide was high. Was low tide too when we first got out there. That's probably what was breaking, so far out. But as the morning sort of progressed, I was like, wait till that tide fills in and it's going to stop breaking out the back there, and it's just going to hit this reef with full force. And so as the morning, progressed, it just got like better and better, and the waves are sort of doubling up and just hitting the reef just perfectly. And we had it to ourselves. It was unreal.
The whole day.
Whole day to ourselves until we ran out of petrol. It was unreal. I mean, there's some normal big wave chargers like Captain and Matt Granger, but they'll down, or Matt was down at Bells. So, it's normally them out there, but no, we had it to ourselves. So it was a treat, absolute treat.
Yeah, and is that a wave that is normally empty, or is it like a foilboard wave, or I'm not familiar with that wave, or is it a surfer wave? Or?
It is a surfing wave, but it's quite shifty out there. We're really lucky, where I live. I'm like 3 minutes from this place. There's probably 8 to 10 different breaks around that whole headland. The upside of that place is that the boat ramp is super sketchy. Right. I love it. It's a real deterrent. Like, people pull up and just go, oh, fuck. You can't use the actual ramp. You've got to skew off to the sides, and I've seen multiple skis flipped upside down there, and guys putting their cars actually in the back of the. Yeah. That happens regularly too. It's the ramp it's great. The next ramp's 20 k's away, so no one goes out there. And for a surfer's perspective, it's super shifty out there, and it's a shit paddle too. So you get caught inside on the bigger days. You get caught inside, and you wouldn't know where to sit out there because it's just breaking sort of everywhere. So it's ideal for us. To foil. Yeah.
Any real glorious standout moments or little horror sections there?
Yes, yes, because it was probably the footage probably doesn't do it as well. It always feels a lot bigger when you're out there too. You know,
of course. Yeah.
there were some really big ones that came through, and normally where we foil, I was towing my mate Mike Klein. He doesn't do any socials, but I went to tow him in, and he swapped his foil out for a tow board that day just because. And I remember him looking down a wave. He goes, "Mate, there's rocks there." There's not like full on, rocks. Normally where it's 1.5 meters deep, it was like sucking dry on this reef, and it was so good. It was really exciting for him to say that. It's like, oh, unreal. But the standouts, I think. I mean, every wave we always trying to get barrels, so you sort of slot in behind the point. I mean, there's not a lot of room for error there, but you come off, you're on the rocks, and your board's on the rocks, and it's a minimum, 30, 40-minute ordeal. You got to drive your ski and scurry up on the rock, grab your foil gear, and it's always trashed, but it's high risk, high reward. I did get one barrel though, and I made it, but there was no drone footage.
Oh, no.
Well, I know, right? Doesn't count if it wasn't filmed.
Yeah.
And I looked up and I went, "Oh God!" I mean,
you're kidding.
Yeah. I know you got to. I know I've got to sort of. A mate of mine always says you got to have a Mind Pro, not a GoPro, a Mind Pro. You got to do it for yourself. But that would have been a cool clip to have. But yeah, there was lots of standout moments for both. I told my mate into. He reckons 2 of the best waves he's ever had in his life. And I could hear him I was on the jet ski, and I could hear him in the barrel when I was behind the wave on the jet ski. I can hear him like hooting through the barrel. He would have been in there for, 6, 7, maybe longer seconds. He's popped out, mate. He was just standing tall in this barrel. He was so stoked. And being the jet ski driver as well, like being your partner, you're just as stoked for them as you would be to catch the wave yourself,
Yeah.
Because, we've towed forever, the last sort of 5+ years, 6 years, I guess, together. And you just get a real kick out of your mate getting good waves as well. So yeah, it was cool.
How good, eh? How good.
Yeah.
Well, we've got this footage here, and I want to sort of run through this wave a little bit and break it down. And
sure.
I'll run through the whole thing first, then we'll come back and we'll pause it a couple of times, mate. So let's have a look at it.
Nice.
That's a big wave off Sydney, isn't it?
Makes me go out.
That's wild. That's wild. Well, there's another swell coming, isn't there? In the next week or so?
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Mate, that's wild. That's insane. On a foilboard, on a surfboard, it's wild. On a foilboard, it's wilder.
On a Friday and on a public holiday too. It was unreal.
Really?
Yeah. They just ticked all the boxes that day. It was so good.
Never plays out like that, eh?
Ever.
Nah. Well, I guess they're the waves breaking out the back you're talking about.
Yeah,
so you're ducking and dodging those things. So did you know there was a bommy there or something there where they would break?
Yeah, there is. There's quite a couple there, and it only needs to shift like a couple of degrees for all the different reefs to light up. Normally, There's a heap of fish heads out there on their boats. We call it just to the left of there, a place called Weirdos. They call it the Wall. And then those spots there, it's like 12, nearly 15 meters deep in some spots. So it needs a massive swirl to break in that sort of depth. So when it's breaking out there, it's a really good sign. It's big. And from the headland perspective, you'd be looking at it and go, it's not that big, like 6, 8 foot, but it's pumping. It
is pumping for sure. So that looks more like what I would imagine a foilboard wave to look like. A bit less sucky and carrying on, because then you got this thing that you get towed into here. Yeah. And like to start off, like you get towed in. What's your prediction for success here?
I'm not too. The idea is to always get barrels. There's not a lot of barrels. You won't see many barrels on foils. I mean, you will in places like Chalpu and that sort of stuff where you can't not get a barrel. I mean, I'm not taking away from the guys that actually get barrels. I'm just saying it's a barrel wave. But you need to get a barrel. You've got to really hunt for it. You've got to fade. You've got to, there's boils and stuff to deal with. And we were trying to get barrels on most waves. So this is just one of a heap of videos from that 5-hour session where we were trying to get barreled. So I guess the idea is to fade, but not too much, because you don't want to end up on the rocks or all those sort of boils mess with the foil part. But fade a bit, get as deep as you can, I guess, and then sort of hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
Best place is in the barrel. The safest spot, apparently.
That is, yeah.
But it looks like I bailed here, but I didn't bail. I'll wait till
I've got that. I've got a couple of questions on that, actually, but
we'll
run through it in order. So you got through to about here, and then you can see it right there,
Yeah,
sucking up. Like that looks
yeah,
bloody shallow. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about there. What's
yeah,
the outcome? You come off here and you get dragged straight in there.
yeah. Not ideal. It's even further back. Like sometimes it'll break closer to the actual point, and it's same deal. It gets super shallow. From the time you fall off to the time you hit back on the rock again, it's like a couple of seconds because it'll smash you down and then just suck you back over the falls and slam you down. Like all that's over and done within about 4 seconds. You're like, what just happened then? But, at the same time, you're sort of laughing underwater, and I don't mind getting sort of flogged a bit as long as I'm more protective of my board than myself. I hate trashing my gear. I love my gear because once your gear's trashed, then you got to go back to the car park, swap your gear out, and it's just a pain in the bum. So, I always try and just swim as quickly as I can to my board if I can, and grab my board and sort of headlock it so it doesn't end up on the rocks. But it is an ordeal, mate. If you come off here, and there's so much water moving in this area here. Like it looks glassy and smooth and whatnot, but there is a lot going on underwater, and it can be quite a gnarly wave.
Yeah, it definitely looks it.
Yeah.
Well, they're shifting forward a little bit.
Yep.
So you come up, and then you mentioned last time about barrels.
Yes.
And that you didn't get any on film, and obviously this time again it's happened.
Yeah.
But I'm a believer after this sort of thing. Like, what's that vision like on a foil compared to, I guess, a surfboard? The same sort of principle, same thing in a barrel, because you're on this bloody, what do you call it, mast?
On a mast, and I've got quite a big mast too. I've got a 1050 mast, which is, you'll see the prone guys. Most of those guys are on 750 masts. So, but higher you are, the further you fall. But I just find it more forgiving, the mast up and down in the water column. But so I guess in saying that, you've got to get a barrel that says, I'm 5'11", I'm crouched down a bit there, but you've also got this meter mast as well. So it needs to be a fair wave to get in there comfortably. I've got quite a lot of closeout barrels. I think if you make a barrel, what's that old saying? If you make a barrel, you weren't deep enough. I'll run with that.
Run with it.
It's quite hard to check turn or wash speed off with a foil. To wash speed off with a foil, you need to sort of, you don't want to wash too much off where you stall. Same as surfing, I guess, but sort of when you go out do your bottom turn, just sort of hold that little bit longer and come around to do your bottom turn. Cause it's hard to do check turns on a foil, I guess. A surfboard, you'd come down, you just do a check turn and sort of wash some of that speed off and get barrel. This is more, you got to wash it off by running out the front of the wave and then do a gradual turn.
Right.
Because the whole time it's still trying to pull you up, up the face of the wave. But
So you're sort of limited there with what you can do.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I'm sure that time will show when people are getting more barrels. They'll be able to. It's quite hard to put your hand in the wall to stall because you are elevated off the water like that. I'm sure it's doable. I mean, I don't think I've done it. Be able to stall with your hand on a foil, and any movement too that you grab a wave, it's going to pull you off the foil. It's
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I had it wrong by the sounds of it, but it looks like. I'll try and pause at the right spot. Here.
Yep.
That looks like a jack to me. But what actually happened there?
If you go back just a little bit more, you'll see these waves because it breaks in a bay there.
Yep.
It sort of breaks in a bay there, I guess. As the wave comes around that bay, you'll get these other waves that come in at like 45 degrees. That's sort of a little bit like Nazaré, if you will. Okay. They'll come across at 45 degrees, and you get these sort of 45 waves, or we call them like skatey ramps almost out there. So you can see these just in front of you. There's two of them.
Yep.
Two of them coming across there. And as I'm just about to pull in, it sort of flicks me up. Otherwise, I would have just sort of rode it to the
to the death,
to the 11th hour, to the death. But my straps aren't super tight. A lot of people go, far out, mate. I would do that with straps on, and I love straps. I mean, they're quite gnarly. If you get caught, they'll just break your ankles. Very easy to snap your ankles. I've been super lucky, touch wood, but I can sort of kick out quite easily. And in this case here, I ended up doing a sort of bit of a dive, bit of a Superman, and that's it.
It's a ripper.
Yeah.
But then I guess run me through the wipeout, because I don't recall you saying you had a leash on. You're strapped in.
No.
And then you got this giant sword flying around with you. So what was this wipeout, or in general a wipeout, like with this?
Yeah, they can be gnarly. More so in a barrel like that, you can see I got quite a fair way away from it, my board. But more so, you get more. I don't wear a leash ever. We're lucky where we are, where you can just let the boards wash through. And we've got jet skis, and we sort of, come pick me. My tow partner would be right there to pick me up, within a few seconds. I'd grab that, and then we come straight in and grab a board. So no one's in harm's way. And where we foil, there's no surfers really. And but the times that you do get flogged by your board is if I catch a big wave, not even a big wave, but you sort of go to a bottom hand turn and the lip will break right next to your board or on your board, and we call it tucko, where it tuckos you like this. So you land sort of on your wing, on your foil. It's gnarly. You got about 2 seconds to cover your face up, and then you get rolled with your board. They're the worst slams, period, ever. They tucko you, and then you get rolled with the guillotine.
Yeah.
But in a barrel, this sort of thing, you can get quite away. Quite away from the from your board, but in saying that, still I still always cover up the best you can, and I don't wear a helmet, but I don't know, I don't know, I've just never been a fan of helmets. I'm not anti helmets by all means. I think if I was at places where the reef was quite gnarly, like Chaupu or Cloudbreak or something like that, yeah, sure, but yeah, I mean, I have broken my nose, I've hit my nose on the mast before, and but that was from one of those taco things, and they're really unpredictable when it's going to happen.
Right.
But I've never had that happen when I'm pulled into a barrel. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And like you said, that was a fair bit away from you. I imagine it could get a hell of a lot further in different scenarios. How many did you go through this day, or was it just the one board the whole day in 5 hours?
Yeah. My gear was fine. Occasionally I'll chuck a spare wing in there, like I said, just saves you going back to the car park and swapping things out. But I was there for five hours, and it was just wave after wave after wave. We just kept getting better and better and better these conditions. It was just like, oh man, I get the jelly legs as well. But when you got a tow partner that charges, just he wants to be where I want to be. So we're like he's my perfect tow partner, because I'll whip him into a wave, and I'm like, mate, you're really deep. Just as he lets go. Because sometimes you can't quite tell. You sort of think you're right, and it might break on the reef just a little bit different, a little bit of swell direction different, and boils will pop up in different places, where they normally wouldn't, and either one of us will still fade even deeper after I've told us, you're too deep. It's still fade. That's quite funny. And when your mates get flogged, mate, you're cacking. I'm sure my mate can hear me laughing on the jet ski, because I know he got so rinsed. You're like, oh, but occasionally you might be held down for 10 seconds. You're like, oh shit, could be in trouble here, but it's still funny,
Funny till it's not.
Funny till it's not. 100%. 100%.
Well, I'm glad it stayed all funny this day, mate, but that's an absolute cracker. And I appreciate your time coming on here. As I
pleasure.
said, these are short and sweet. They're one session. So these are our new segment, I guess you'd call them, raw stories. Jump on, tell a story, tell a wipeout, tell a fish, tell something short and sweet, walking us through, and that's a cracker to kick them off with, mate. So
awesome, Dan. Thanks for your time again, mate.
Mate, no worries at all. Everyone go back, listen to episode 21, I think it was. It's got some real insight into foilboarding, and Matt himself, it's a cracker. So thanks again, mate. Like, subscribe, hang on, have some fun, and we got plenty more to come.
Awesome, Dan. Cheers, bro.
On your Matty. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.